Okay, well, welcome everybody. I'm your host today, Lisa Griggs. This is Team Win Winners Circle. I'm so excited. We have Brooke Patton in the house, all the way from Kyle, Texas. I'm so excited. I'm coming to see you, ladies. I didn't realize you're so close to each other.
Yes, I am so excited. So excited for the team to come down. And, we've been so lucky to have, a group of people just like in such close proximity. But it's always like so amazing when, people travel to come in to like, just build that rapport, build those relationships, just get stuff done.
Yeah, and experience that's so awesome because you just mentioned that you're neighbors with Jocelyn and Alma, and I interviewed both of them. Amazing women are doing incredible things in this business. I love Alma's story. She's just such an inspiration to me with just everything that she's been through in her life with the surgeries that she's had and just being a mom and being a single mom and just all of that. So it's been awesome like just to see her journey in just the short period of time that I've been here, but kind of as we say, the newer kid on the block. Because I think we're like reverse aging or something right now, but even with all of the great products that are out there, Brooke, and everything that's been going on with this amazing company, I think that just I feel like I'm not aging. So I guess we could just jump right into it today. Why do you think that is? What do you think is the biggest um what do you because I don't know, I look at you, your skin is so beautiful, it's so on point, obviously your hair looks amazing. You look very, very healthy, and you're a mom, you're a single mom, and you're raising beautiful children and all that good stuff. And so I'm trying to get, what is the excitement about this company? Why do we love it so much, these products? Can you speak to that maybe a little bit?
I can, it was 3 years ago when, I was 47, about to be 48, and I could just feel the difference in my body. Genetically, I think, I have always kind of tend to look a bit younger, but I definitely, my skin was showing some stress signs, more not so much like I've always been very young spirited and have actually been a very late bloomer. So I think part of that, becoming a mom later in life, like a part of that has kept me young.
Mm.
Um, but then there's also that other part where I felt young. However, like the adrenal crashes and just the stress of life, over 20 years was starting to show the signs in my skin. So I was searching for something, not really even knowing, right, that I didn't know enough about hormones to associate what I was dealing with a hormonal imbalance, even at 47. It's logical, right? Like,
Totally.
it's like, okay, like this is happening, but I just didn't know enough about it to correlate the two. And so, meeting Joss and seeing her like transformation and really like having just a simple conversation with her about it was like, I need whatever you have, give it to me now. I didn't know what it was. I knew nothing about hormones. I just knew that I was extremely stressed out and I needed something to feel better. So it was kind of like this beautiful thing, right? Of young spirit, but then the support of the hormone balance. And then after that, of course, it's like we have all kinds of different products, right? We have collagen now, we have skincare. And so I do all of the things and I really feel like outwardly and inwardly, like my insides feel less stress, less fatigue, but the outside is, showing that like youthful glow. So most of my friends, I feel like, are somewhere in the 35 year, like range. And it doesn't seem any different to hang out with them. Like they don't view me as like older, and I don't view them as younger. It's kind of cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, do you take the collagen? Is that a product that you're well versed in? Because I would love to know more about that product. The Somanite, correct?
Yes, the
Can you
summer night.
speak to this product? Because I think it's important for people to understand because you mentioned collagen. We haven't really talked about it on the interview so much because we've talked about Somaderm so much.
Yeah.
Because I'm like you, even though I'm 51, I had no idea how much hormone health plays in my own body until I started using the gel. Kind of the same thing. Like just didn't know that until I took it, how important hormone health was and how it radically changed my life right away. Like I felt like I was having an outer body experience. Started to see my neck lift, my just a definition in my body, my mood, sleeping better. Just there were so many changes happening all at once. But maybe you could speak about the Somanite. What makes this product so special? Because I know it's a very unique collagen.
It is, for me, it was something that I just really started taking. I started implementing it. I am not a product person. I have really never been a product junkie, so it's interesting that the company has made me more interested the in products and the quality and the trust that I have for the company, and knowing that, quality and efficacy, like all of those things are absolutely like the top of their priority. It was something that I just started to implement. And I didn't really have like sleep issues, but I know like with this collagen, sleep is kind of like the third tier. So it's really like helping with skin, hair health, all these things, but the actual sleep, even though it's called Somanite, is actually kind of the third tier, which is like just a byproduct of of the collagen.
Right.
So, we might have to like loop around with more like in-depth training on, what it actually does, because for me, because of my trust in this company, and I know that they aren't going to put something out on the market that isn't absolutely thought out, that doesn't have like multiple benefits. It's not just a one, targeting one thing. It's working together with the gel and the Somaderm, and really creating that beautiful, partnership, I guess, if you will.
So can you talk to us about the Somaderm? Is this the first product that you started on? Because this is the product that I started on. I take it every, for 5 days and then the 2 days off. I'm actually only using one pump in the morning and one pump at night, but I can tell when I'm not on this. It's not easy.
Oh, for
Can I just use it through the weekend? This
sure.
was actually one of those weekends that I was like, I don't care. I'm using it through the weekend. I didn't use it
Sometimes
today,
you
but
just have to, girl. Sometimes you just have
yeah.
to.
So maybe you can speak to this. So this is the first product that you started on, correct? And you were like, just give it to me. And how did that look? What did you notice? What did how did kind of walk me through that experience for you?
Okay, so, like we spoke about a little while ago, I was 47, about to turn 48. It was at the end of May, so May 28th. And finally, I had moved, gone through all this, these stressful things, and finally connected with Jocelyn. And, she delivered, like hand delivered one to
Oh,
my house, because we're neighbors. And it was literally, I think, like within the first week, like I just felt that stress like completely diminishing. It
wow.
was like I could handle stressful situations better. I remember like taking my son at the time, he was starting like a little summer school program, and the pickup line, it took us an hour and a half to get through the line. And I would normally be like, my legs would be, kind of going through like a RLS, or,
Oh,
just like restless leg syndrome. And I was like calm as a cucumber. I was like just patient and waiting. And, so those were kind of like the first things that I noticed really was my mood was really changing. My stress levels were really diminishing, and I just felt lighter and I felt happier, you
that
know.
is so awesome. That is so awesome. Yeah, I had restless leg syndromes like 20 years ago. That is not an easy thing to deal with. Thank God God healed me, but that was many years ago, but that is a difficult thing to go through. Did you have restless leg syndrome? Was that something that you were, or you just were like feeling like that? You get like
No,
cramping in
that's
your
just kind
legs
of what I associate it with.
and
I've never been diagnosed with anything, but it's kind of like when I think about sitting on an airplane and the circulation, like a long airplane flight or something, and just that uncomfortability, in your legs, the circulation, and it's just, you can't help but just like keep kicking your legs to get it moving. And so that's kind of, I haven't been diagnosed with that. It's just the actual like tension in my body was gone.
yeah, yeah, I
So
can understand that. Wow, that's so powerful. And then you just now, so you're on these products, and then did you at that point were you in the business? Like, were you doing this as a business right away, or did that take some time for you? Were you like try the products first and then realize, hey, there might be an opportunity here, or kind of like how did that look?
it's funny because like when I talk about this part of the story, it was almost like I was on like autopilot. Like I've said no to this industry like for as long as I can even remember. Like I come from a family of absolute skeptics. Like they don't do anything without like thinking it through, having a plan, having a backup plan, having this. That's just that's just how I grew up. So naturally, I come into that very easily. Like, oh, I don't know, like what's going to happen, and I don't know if I'll fail, and so it was very strange. Like, I don't even know that in my head, like I said, I'm going to do this as a business.
Mm,
However, like within that first week, I was setting up my own Zoom, which I've never done before. I was making, inviting all my friends. Joe and Lee got on the Zoom to do the presentation. And so it was like this autopilot that like just I was just so excited and passionate and happy that it just kind of like it was easy to, start showing up on social media, all these things. Not showing up on social media in that it was hard because nobody knew at all what I was talking about. Somaderm is not something that the world fully knows about. So all they saw was Brooke, this very quiet, reserved, artist girl, all of a sudden talking about like these products. So there was definitely a process where I had to just be like, I just have to show up. And I know people think I'm crazy right now. And, but it's like 3 years later, I'm still doing the same thing, you know?
yes, and you've had a lot of success, and I love that you kind of got coined the phrase, this nickname, the queen of consistency. So can you like explain where did that come from? Like where does this whole queen of consistency, who is she, and how does she show up in the world?
Yeah. it's really like I giggle like every time I hear that because I'm like, yeah, you know what? I do show up all the time. Like there's not a day that goes by that I don't, show my face on social media. I've learned like how to kind of incorporate like real life with products. So it's not, at one time it was like all about product and then you kind of are like, okay, like this is only like a part of my life. Like I want to build trust with people and I want people to, be able to see like the real me as well. So, there's a little spiciness, there's a little this, there's just all of my personality. But I think when Jordan says that or when I'm referred to as that, it's that no matter what, no matter what happens, like I'm still here.
Yeah,
You
I love
know?
that. I love that. Thank you for sharing that with us because I think that a lot of people think like money is made very quickly, like make money fast, invest slow, right? That's kind of the statement there. But I think it's beautiful that you're so consistent and that that carries through, that what you're doing in this business because I think you've had success because of that. And I wonder if most people just give up. They quit too early and right on the other side of their breakthrough. And I know that I'm very clear that that's the law of averages kick in. If you talk to enough people, eventually you're gonna get people that are gonna say yes to this and that are kind of in a position to where they're like, yes, this is what I need. I need this. I want it. Kind of like you were. This is a perfect timing in your life.
Mhm.
And I think timing does have a lot to do with it. And obviously that was just the perfect time for you. And
Yeah.
then kind of stepping into that growth piece of this and then just continuing, to show up. So do you do this business full time now? I know you mentioned you're an artist. How does that kind of fit into your schedule?
So I do balance it. So I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have my my paintings that I love dearly. I do commission work. I have a website that I do prints and so that part of it is definitely something that I'm passionate about. But most of my time, I would say, is kind of geared towards New Life. I think a lot of the reason for that too is because it brings me so much personal growth. So it's actually, I'm kind of killing two birds with one stone. I'm learning how to do business where I never really had those skills. There's a lot of skills that I'm building that can kind of go, to any business or can go towards my art business. I now know how to use social media. I didn't know how to do that before. So now I have the tools to be able to promote both, to be able to promote my artwork to a wider audience of people that I never knew before, so that part of it is beautiful. And, I want to backtrack a little bit about what you said because we talk, there are people that want to build very fast. And there are also people like me that I have so many skills that I need to learn, like in the business, that it is naturally going to take me a longer time. And I think because like I set the expectation for that. Like it wasn't something that was like super surprising when it took me longer to build something like substantial.
Right.
And I think that's an important conversation is
For sure.
level set that expectation. People can build very, very fast. I mean, I've seen it happen. However, a lot of those people that build that fast haven't built the skills to maintain it. So you can build really fast and not know how to handle all the things that come with it, or you can take your time, learn the skills as you grow, as you continue to build your business and your volume and it just I'm more for longevity
Yes.
instead of like just instant gratification.
Yeah, well, that's anomaly in itself because most people that entered the 90s did not enter with a great deal of patience. I think that was one of the virtues that kind of went out the door. So we kind of look for like the quick fix, the quick like make money fast, get rich quick, all of that stuff. So I think that's beautiful that you've just carried that inspiration through, because as being an artist and being a creator to that degree, you are someone that is you're following your passion. As being an artist, you're following your passion, and that's very beautiful because that leads you to greatness just naturally.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that you've been able to carry that consistency of who you are and how you show up in the world into this business, which is so different than you creating art, right? It's a different, it's like you're having to put on a different hat altogether. I think that's really awesome. It's really beautiful. It's very inspiring to know that you can be this artist and have all this passion and inspiration that way, but then be able to show up equally the same and just carry that passion through, because that's what's going to continue to have you in the game for
Yeah.
as long as you've been here. And I
Yeah.
love that you've had so much success. And obviously, you just got back from Jamaica, which is so awesome. Tell us about your trip to Jamaica. I mean, was that your first incentive trip, or how, like, what was going on there?
About 10 weeks ago.
That was my boy.
I love it.
So actually, this was my third incentive trip.
Wow.
Hawaii, my first year in the company. We went to Costa Rica my second year, and then Jamaica this year. And what a blessing, just being able to, first of all, be involved with the U-Care projects. I know that most people that have gone on these incentive trips, that's kind of the favorite part, right? Like truly giving back to people without any expectation of, there is, the only thing that you're getting back really is just joy. And it's just amazing.
It's
So
priceless.
yeah, it's absolutely priceless. And just, it's been a place where I have just really developed the relationships with not only Alexi and Kate, who, I mean, it's just truly special, but you have corporate, and yeah, I just feel like the stronger these bonds are, they just want to see us succeed, right? And because of that like bond, it's like you just are like this volunteer army, so it's this beautiful like give and take that I don't know, I don't have anything to compare it to like in another company, but it feels truly like magical to me. And I'm like, like, why would I leave this? I just love it so much,
I love that. That's so awesome. Yeah, I love that what you're talking about. It's like the collective. It's when people bond together in like that team setting. It's really beautiful because hormones are released that actually cause us, like when we solve problems together, when we have our why together, when we have the same mission and same vision, it's very, very powerful. And it can move people forward together as a collective instead of one individual. I think that's why I gravitate so much towards direct selling as a career, because it's predicated on like our success is predicated on other people becoming successful. And then so much of what you talked about, growing leaders. Like we actually cannot scale this business up unless we are growing leaders around us, because it doesn't have to do with just one person. It has to do with a big team of people with this common mission and vision all moving forward together. And I love that, that you were all able to do the U-Care like the projects there with the school in Jamaica. It's so beautiful, and see the children's faces. And I was like, gosh, man, maybe I would have pushed a little harder to go to Jamaica. I mean, I was invited, by 3 people. I was like, no, I'm great about it, I'm not going to go. But when I saw that project, I was like, dang it, because I know I would have enjoyed that. I love my mom has an orphanage in Tanzania, and I've worked with the children in Philippines and Ecuador and Peru and all over the place. And yeah, that's really awesome. I love that the company does that and they don't do it separate from that actual trip. It's always super valuable and important that if you're going into a country, and I challenge all you network marketers out there that are $1 million earners on this, that if you are going into a country and you are actually extracting money from that country, let's say, I just throw out a country. Let's say that you're doing business in Vietnam. If you are actually doing business in Vietnam, you need to be pouring back into that country equally so if you're taking, finances out of that country. So I always feel like that's an important part of what we do, is that when we travel all over the world, that we should be doing these projects to pour into these places. And they just had something, I saw a post or something, maybe they had a hurricane or something that came through. Maybe you could speak to that, because I know you guys were doing it looked like you were doing some painting and some building on the school there.
Yes, oh my gosh. We poured our little hearts out, like redoing, the inside, painting the inside, the outside, the playground. We did an amazing, their playground was like direct sunlight. So we built this really nice, tin roof for them to have the shading, and just so that their space could be something really enjoyable for these kids. And you know just this past week with the hurricane that hit, and seeing a picture of our work still standing, it's like the roof is still on with all of the damage that was done to, in Jamaica, in that area. And it's like, it's just a godsend, that like I just feel like that community really, I mean, they were so extremely grateful for just the time and effort that we put in, and to know that they were like protected, it's like their little school was protected from the storm. And it just, I don't know, it was very special.
So awesome. When you were in Costa Rica and Hawaii, I was just curious, did you do care projects there as well, or was it only in Jamaica?
So when we were in Maui, we didn't have a project that we were doing. So it started in Costa Rica,
Okay.
and it was the same thing, collectively. There was a few buses that went up. We went in, we did some pretty serious manual labor. To rebuild the school. And so I think once you have like a taste of that, right? Like there's no way of not doing it every single time,
I love
and,
it. I love
and,
it. Your face lights up when you talk about it. It's
I
really
know.
cool.
And then you think like, oh my gosh, like how many like local, like just things locally can we help with? I don't know. It just, it kind of opens up this other theme. I've always wanted to be involved in something that was more meaningful, something that really provided substance for somebody else's life. And I just hadn't really found that. Not that there's, many things that you can do to give back. I just hadn't really found or connected with that channel. So I feel like this has given me like almost a pathway, and like a vision of like, oh my gosh, you know, there's so many kids that just need help, and so many like privileged communities that just need support and love and time. So
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll see you on the next trip. So with that, what is like kind of going forward now, because you've had success obviously with the products, you've had success with the compensation plan. Obviously, you've went on these incentive trips, and you've had this experience to do these things that are so meaningful to you, to give back, into the world, from this humanitarian angle. What is kind of the next thing that you hope to accomplish here at NewULife?
Honestly, like I really hope to keep building my skill set. I have a lot of gifts and a lot of talents, and I also have some things that just come very, very naturally to me. And some of, so really working on continuing to say yes, to put myself out there in uncomfortable situations instead of my, like, my norm is to sit back and be an observer, or sit back and kind of like wait for somebody else to take the lead, or, maybe like just cautiously move forward. So, I have some things that I'm still working on. Discipline is one of those things. I can do it when I'm passionate, but what happens on those days where you just are struggling? We have those days that just are hard. So, I know that things are going to continue to unfold, and I'm going to continue to grow my team. And, with those improvements of my self-discipline and things that of that nature are going to be something that can kind of coexist with the things that I'm already learning, which is, um, building leaders, and instead of like doing things for everybody, because I do have a tendency to do that as well, right? So when you build the leaders, then they have the skills to do the same, and that's where the duplication comes in. So lots of learning lessons. I continue to just keep sharing my story, keep sharing this amazing company and the people in it. Like, we're all in it together, and I just love how we are growing into our own people.
Yeah, it's really awesome. Do you think that that Team Win has helped you grow those things and is continuing to help you grow? I mean, maybe you could speak on, what, because obviously you came into this collective of Team Win, which is, led by Jordan. What does that look like? Like, for people that are kind of maybe thinking about doing this as a business, what can they expect with joining Team Wins Collective? What does that look like? Because
Lots of
you've
fun,
been here for a
girl.
minute, and I'm like the new kid on the block. So, I'm not new to the industry. So
Yeah.
I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And obviously, there's a lot of personalities, and, you being such an observer, obviously have seen some things. What can you speak to that, as far as like, what can people expect when they come to join Team Win? What does that look like to you?
Well, you can expect a family unit, which means you do get like really, like, the closer you get to something, the more that you have to come together, right? You have so many different personalities. You have so many different skills. So really what I try to do is to kind of like, whatever the task is at hand, like, who do I connect myself with to get the job done, right? We have people that, Jess has really taught me everything about like back office, comp plan, that type of thing. So, those skills. Joss has taught me so much about like social media and, just talking about the products in a way that you're not giving all of the information, like, because you want that connection with people. You want to have somebody reach out to you, not because you're being shady and you don't want to share the product, but what happens when somebody just goes and orders it without the actual person there to help them. So I've learned a lot from her. Jordan, has an amazing way with words and getting the information out in a very short presentation, versus me, who might talk about it like it might take me an hour to get through everything. It's like, okay, let's condense this into 5 minutes, and if you want more information, like, feel free to, like, we can provide you with that. But so it's really, I think, about like just learning what everybody's skills are, and really tapping into that and collectively coming together. I know that recently, it's like we've had this kind of merge, right? So there's like these skills that have already been in place with the new team win, and then there's the skills and the things that have been happening for 3 years and in the kind of OGs. And so it's like really like communication is 100% everything. I think anything can be accomplished with a good communication skill set,
Sure.
because then it's like we know, like, okay, these two people can work together, these two people can work together, we can kind of like bounce things off each other's, off each other, and come up with like the best case scenario.
Yes. Yeah. I
So,
love seeing that with you and Alma and Jocelyn, just all working together in Austin, and so excited to come and see what you ladies are doing in Kyle. And I know it's going to be an amazing, amazing event.
yeah.
And yeah, I think communication is definitely a big part of it for sure. I mean, obviously, with all these new fluxes, the original team has been around already for 3 years. So then now with the new flux, and there's been different times of different fluxes.
Yeah.
I think that the idea is to continue to scale the business up and make sure that all of us are, really stepping into becoming the best versions of ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think a collective challenges us to do that, because there's a lot of different personalities and there's a lot of different skills, as you said. And so I think just being open-minded, I think Team Win is a beautiful collective,
Mhm.
and it's growing. And I'm excited about just the future, of what this team is going to look like, because there's a great core. And I think as an organism, it's just going to continue to grow and grow and grow and grow. And as that happens, obviously, all of us are going to just become the best versions of who we are. And it's going to be awesome. And so I appreciate you so much for saying that today. And
Yeah.
just thank you so much for just spending time with us today here, Team Win, the Winner's Circle. It's this big little training thing that we've got going on. And just appreciate your time today so much, Brooke. And I've smiled more in this interview than I ever have. My jaws are like,
Mine too.
smiling so much. But what a beautiful interview. Any last thoughts before we finish that you would like to share?
I'm just excited about the future. I'm excited about Austin. One thing about Team Win for sure, and in the company, but Team Win, we know how to have a good time. We know how to
For
like
sure.
laugh and hang out, and so it's like the best of both worlds, right? Like you have a working relationship, but it's also like something we just enjoy being around each other.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited for the growth and even the growing pains and whatever it is, like we got it.
We got it. Whatever those growing pains are, believe me, I'm being stretched right now. Trust me, every day, every day. I mean, every day I'm on the chopping block, like today, just like, Jordan, I just need a little bit of a feather for right now. I'm a little fragile, it's like, and, but it's good. It's all good. It's stretching me in ways that, hey, that I didn't even know, that I could stretch in. So, and grow in. So it's good. It's good. It's all for my benefit. as,
Right.
as a leader and leading, other leaders, we all want to do the best that we can, so that we can, we can lead with love. It's super, super important. So anyway, so thank you so much for being with us today. I love you and can't wait to see you in Kyle. Mwah.
Love you too.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.